Sports betting brother, and hey, bring it up, and thanks for stopping by. My name is Boyd, sports betting market analyst with OddsJam.com. We teach you how to bet like a sharp. And today's topic is, what is limited? What does getting limited at your sportsbook mean? What is that all about? And we'll talk about that, and at the very end, kind of give you some tips and some things you can do to maybe combat that and avoid that as much as possible. Guys, before we get into being limited and what limited means in sports betting, I want to remind you that I'm offering up some free phone consultations, just kind of a one-on-one basis, whether it's a Google Meet or a Zoom or just basic phone call to talk to you about your scenario, your situation, where you're located, different sports books you might have options to, and kind of how we can build a betting plan using the OddsJam tools to help you profit. It's definitely possible wherever you're located. So if you want to connect on a phone call, happy to do it, whether it's half hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever we need, 40 minutes. Let's do it. Also, I want to remind you that if you use the QR code to sign up here, you can pause videos, use the QR code to get signed up at OddsJam when you join. Get 20% off your first 2 months of OddsJam subscription with getting all the tools, all the data, all the information you need to profit. And what a better time here with everything going on in the fall and the wintertime with basketball, football, hockey, everything's going on. So use that QR code and get going. All right, guys, let's get going with limited. Limited simply is put as the bet you want to put in with your sportsbook, whether it's from your mobile phone or from your laptop. The sportsbook that you're putting that bet into will disallow you to enter and follow through with what they offered, what they offered there that you tried to enter as your bet. So, for example, let's say you put in an NFL bet that's at -2.5. Let's say on the Bills at -110. You put $100 in. You put that bet in at -2.5, -110. They magically stop you and say, "Hey, you can put in." And they'll pull out sort of a random number that's substantially less than your original $100 wish or wager, and say maybe you put in $12.97 at -3, -125. So not only they dramatically change the dollar amount they'll let you put in, but many times they'll change the odds and the line and say, oh, we've had this odds shift, this odds change, so that bet is no longer available. So that's what being limited does to you. Getting limited at a sports book is sort of feels like a badge of honor, but let me tell you, you don't really have to make excessively large wagers to get limited and be tagged. Basically, your account is profiled, and they're seeing your account and the types of bets you make, and they're probably seeing that if you're getting bets from OddsJam, you're getting the best deal, the best price, and they know that you're a sharp bettor getting the best of their situation. They have a mispriced outlying bet that they still have not fixed or had available. They probably acknowledge that, probably realize that, and so therefore they're going to immediately tag and limit you on your wagers. So the question is, what can you do when you get limited? When your account gets tagged and you're limited, every time you go to place a bet in there that you're concerned or worried about, are they going to take it or not? Sometimes they do. Sometimes you're able to slip things by and they actually take it, and you're kind of wondering, well, maybe is this really a sharp bet or not? But then sure, lo and behold, and sure enough, they're going to limit you on your next one. So what can you do? Well, again, I highly encourage you to get as many sports books as you can, because maybe you can pivot to another sports book that say it's the same thing, -2.5 at -112 versus the -110. Still not down to the penny the best thing, but at least you have another alternative or an outlet to go to. The other thing you can do, if you're in Colorado, go to SportTrade. SportTrade's a betting exchange, and there's no limits there. You can't get limited. Circa is another sports book in Colorado that limits are, non-existent for the most part. So that's a good place, if you can still get the value, to use those. I highly recommend SportTrade first, only because you have the option to trade that game in and out of the game. If you have a bad position later in the game, you can get back out of it. Whereas a lot of times at Circa, if you are halfway down the road and you want to bail, you can't. But that being said, those are a couple. There you go, guys. That's what limited is, and there's some tips you can use to combat that and kind of counter that. But again, if you have any questions, leave them down below. Also, if you have any other topics you want me to cover, any terminology, things like that, let me know in the comments as well. Happy to go through some bet school to help you increase your ROI. Again, appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you like and join the channel as we come up with new content all the time to try to help you make more money. And again, make sure you take advantage of that QR code, get signed up, and use promo code BOYD20 to save 20% off at OddsJam. And as always, let's go make some mathematical money.